All right, we're going to get started with the program. I'd like to thank everyone for being here and welcome everyone. Angus Jennings, I'm the town manager. And you've all received information in the mail and otherwise regarding the Town of West Newbury Community Choice Power Program. This is through the municipal energy aggregation, which is authorized by state law. But it's a lengthy process that began a couple of years ago, about 2.5 years ago, in the fall of 2022, when town meeting voters authorized the town to begin the process of entering the program. And it's been a long road since then. We've been helped all along the way by Colonial Energy. They're here today. I'm going to turn it over to them and present the program in detail. But they've been enormously helpful. In fact, we never could have done it without them. But I do want to definitely recognize that the impetus for this at the beginning was the town's Energy and Sustainability Committee. They really were the prime mover. They did a lot of research on the front end, brought this to the select board, and really were the engine to get it started. So we think it's a very positive program. There's a lot of upside and really no downside, but you can be the judge. And Mark and Denise and their colleagues will go into detail and answer questions you may have, but I do want to thank everyone for being here.
Thank you. So I'm here today, Mark Capitone with Colonial Power, just to discuss the town's program. I want to tell you this program is truly about choice and choices you didn't have prior, and what the town has done for every resident and business in West Newbury. I'm here to talk to you about one of the 2 mailings you would have received. If you had 2 meetings, you could have gotten both, just really depends. But I'm going to talk first about this, because this is where most of the customers will have fallen. This is an opt-out notice. This I'm going to address right afterwards. And this is if you were on third-party supply. So I'll start with this. This is a program that helps you with your electricity bills. So I want to tell everyone, from your perspective, everyone's going to remain a National Grid customer. All this program does is address the electron running through the wire, and it's bringing you a choice that you hadn't had in the marketplace prior. So the town went out and purchased energy on your behalf. The winning supplier was Dynegy. It was 30 months, and it's at 13.1. Here's the good news about the program. The program allows you to make the decision. The town has gone out and made this, I'll say, set this hedge. So nobody in West Newbury ever needs to pay over the next 30 months more than 13.1. You don't have to. If you wish to, that's perfectly fine. It's up to you. This program is an opt-out program. Opt-out means if you don't make a choice, you have made a choice. You're going to be moved to the program. You're going to be moved, if you receive this mail, you're going to be moved to the town's rate. You'll still get your bill from National Grid. There's no change. It's a single line item change on your bill. You'll still just pay National Grid. But if you don't do anything, you'll be moved. I just want you to know, nobody in the town is trying to keep you in the program. Right in this envelope is another self-addressed stamped envelope with a card. You sign your name on that card, stick it in the envelope, put it in the mail, you'll never be enrolled in the program. Never be enrolled in the program. More good news. Let's just say you decided to, use that opt-out. 3 months from now, you say, I shouldn't have opted out. I made a mistake. You can opt back in. There's no fee and there's no penalty. There's no fear, there's no penalty at basic service. So out of the gate, this program is going to deliver savings and stability, but it's completely up to you whether or not you wish to participate. I just want to hammer home, not making a decision is a decision. So from your perspective, what is it and how actually will it work? So in this scenario, let's just say that you have budget billing, you have automatic withdrawal, you use mass save, you might be someone on a low income discount, you have solar panels. All of those programs are utility programs. They all stay in place with this program. Every single one of those things will stay in place with this program, because those are utility programs that they're going to continue to provide you. National Grid, they're a supporter of these programs. They're not allowed to do in the marketplace what the town has done for you. they see that as a good thing as far as creating the stability that's there. By law, they have to go out twice a year and procure energy on their behalf. And in doing so, they've actually just made a change. And that change is now February 1st. And you might be seeing that, that rate change, rates coming down from 16 down to the 14,672. You'll be seeing that on your March bill, depending on the year. And then it'll change again in August. The town's program will not change for 30 months. I just want to explain the benefits of that. Right now, the savings, I don't know. We're looking at about a penny and a half, you might be looking at $10, $15 a month, depending on your usage. But you don't need to do anything for it. But I think all of us remember 3 winters ago, prices went to 33 cents a kilowatt hour in National Grid. In that scenario, the town rate will not change. So if basic service shoots through the roof, always know you can come back to the town rate at any point without fee or penalty, if you're not participating. So again, from your perspective, change, you don't need to do anything. If you wish to participate, if you do not, plenty of ways not to. This is the easiest, just sign the card, you can opt out. Or you can go on colonialpowergroup.com on the web and choose West Newbury and opt out of the program. Could not be easier. Or call us. It's on the sheet that was on both sheets actually. It's 866-485-5858 extension 1. You can opt out and opt back in without fee or penalty. I just want you to know, no one's trying to hold you in these programs. This is truly a choice that didn't exist at the towns, hoping that you'll take advantage of, because there's savings and stability in that. That is if you're on basic service, meaning that this is if you were receiving your electricity through basic service. So National Grid was not only your distribution company, they were also the supplier. So you're on basic service if you receive this. If you receive this postcard, you're still eligible, but that's telling us what we got the list from National Grid. They said these customers are on third-party supply. And then with this card comes a hook, meaning you have a third-party supplier or you're on green with National Grid. In that scenario, we're most concerned about the company that you might be leaving if you want to join this program. So all I ask is, if you have your bill, you flip your bill over. On the back side of the bill by law, National Grid has to have the 1-800 number for your supplier. You simply call your supplier and ask them, is there a fee or penalty to leave your program? If there's no fee or penalty to leave your program, you don't need to argue with them to get out of the program or anything. You can simply call us or go online and opt into the program. The way it technically works is National Grid is the gatekeeper. When you sign up in this program, it will automatically send a drop to your supplier. But if you don't call and ask, many of those programs come with fees and penalties up to say $125, $150. So you do want to call and make sure that there aren't any of those fees. Separate, when you call your supplier, there's fees and penalties to leave. Let them know. So you have a little bit of leverage here in the marketplace. Say, hey, my town has an aggregation. I was wondering if you were willing to meet or beat the 13.1 that they're offering. If they're willing to meet or beat that rate, stay with the supplier. It's not a problem. It's your ability to use the marketplace sometimes for some leverage against them. So, at the end of the day, this is all about you and choice and protection. And the reason I'm saying protection, I happen to live in a community just south of here called Marlborough, Massachusetts. During that huge spike, Marlborough, right before that, had signed a aggregation contract for 9.3 at the time. So when everyone in National Grid was paying 33 cents, all the residents and businesses in Marlborough paid 9.3 cents. So I can tell you that the market has changed. Actually, Marlborough's rate today is higher than this rate by a full penny. But nobody here in town has to worry about paying more than 13.1. There's a couple more, and I want to apologize. I have eyes of a certain age and I'm having trouble seeing. So, the town also there's more choice. So everyone is going to be moved to the most economical, to the national wind, which is the most economical renewable product on the marketplace right now. So they wanted to, how do I want to say, balance renewables and price. That price is the 13.1. If by chance you say, that's a little bit pricey for me, that's the top, that's where everyone's going to get moved. But they brought you two other choices. If by chance you thought that, hey, if I could get a better price, I would prefer, they offer a basic price, that's the 13 cents, the next one down, and that's 13,074. What does it say? It'd save about $1 a month or so, 60+ cents per month, depending on where you are. But in that scenario, you have a meats product. That's the exact product that Basic Services. It's an apples to apples comparison. And then, in true West Newbury fashion, they also wanted to make sure people that were looking for renewables and wanted to support that, I'm a big fan of that, they offered 100% mass class 1 renewable product. And at that point, you're really looking at some pricey, some lofty goals. Those racks are all local renewables, projects built after 1997 in Massachusetts. And as you know, things are a little bit more expensive here. So if you're interested in that, you certainly can opt into that if you wanted to support solar and wind in Massachusetts. There's not really any hydro being built in Massachusetts. That's why I'm saying it's really solar and wind. I've done a lot of talking. And now my job is to answer all your questions. And I know people have questions. So please fire away. Yes, sir.
Just a general question, I guess, about the electric market. Is National Grid here in Massachusetts, or is the new program by way of community choice benefiting from Canadian Hydro?
So all of the programs use what we call system mix. And about 9% of our electricity, and I'm going to just use on what we have data on 2024, comes from Canadian Hydro. So that's about 9%. Whether or not that will stay consistent,
That's my question.
that's a good question. That's a good question. I'm not certain it will or it won't, and I would expect it's going to get a little bit more expensive if everything I'm reading in the papers is true. More questions? Yes.
So we have a ground solar unit, and IGS is our, the company, partner, I guess.
Yeah.
So, we contact them, is that what you're saying? Contact them and see if they can meet this,
So
does that work?
not a problem. Question is on solar, and it's a ground mounted, but it's still behind the meter solution. So I'm assuming you own the panels, or did they just put them up if you rent? So I'm gonna explain. This program works seamlessly with what you have going on. When you're actually using electrons from the grid, you're drawing from the actual grid, probably doesn't happen too often, but maybe February, January, you'll be paying the 13.1. National Grid will always credit your bill as basic service. So right now, that's a winner chicken dinner, because you'll be using it at 13 and they'll be crediting your bill at 14 cents. You get the delta. Just want to say it's the knife cuts both ways, right? This is the real world. If for some reason the piece came across the planet and National Grid's basic service rate was 11, you would be using energy at 13 and you would be getting credit at 11. So it's really the program on steroids in a sense, because no matter what happens, now you're using much less electricity because of that, but on those delta months, you may be looking to opt in or out of the program. It's up to you. I just wanted to mention that brings me to the next. We can only, unfortunately today, we only have what I'll call a spindle meter or a dumb meter. So National Grid has no idea when we're using energy during the month. We read it on our meter read, I'm just gonna say in March, and then read it again in April. The difference between the two is what you used. I can only switch customers on the meter read. Right now, we don't have a thing called smart meters. So all we can do is switch on the meter. So if you look at your bill and you want to get out of the program, you won't see, I don't know about you, but I normally look at the bill and, oh, what did the kids do? You know, okay, what's gonna happen? So the next meter readings, that if I call right after that, I just had my meter for 20 some odd days, I can't switch you out of the program to the next meter reading. That's just the way it functionally works. Coming to a house near you or building near you, you're gonna have smart meters and fixed over the next 5 years. That's what they're saying. And then we'll be able to do things a little bit more expediently if you're asking to get out of the program. Yes, sir.
Just give me an overview. You mentioned 10% of it is water.
Community hydrant.
Where's the rest of it? Where do you get the rest of it?
It's a great question. He wants to know the rest of the system mix. So I'm gonna give you a quick little, somewhere around 60% of our power comes from combined cycle natural gas plants. 60% of the power. Another, I'm gonna say 25% of our power comes from nuclear. There's not much nuclear left in Iceland, New England. Coal is not really left in the mix. And then the rest of it is renewables.
So it can come from all over the country or is it?
Only in Iceland, New England. So only the New England states, not New York, but Rhode Island and Connecticut, straight up through Maine. Those are all the resources on our grid.
What was that 65%? I didn't.
So around 60 to 65% is combined cycle natural gas. That's what that's the, that's the thing that sets the price, man. So it's a natural gas burning a turbine to create our electricity. That's where we get the preponderance of it. And I don't want to bore everyone here. So quickly, just over the winter, we have a tremendous capacity issue. So just recently, we had a very cold winter for the first time. And believe it or not, we burnt more oil than we have combined in the last 3 years during that time, because you and I get to heat our homes with gas first. I don't know if you're a gas community or not, but we get to heat our homes. So they literally ask all the power plants that have the ability, they're called dual use plants. They switch to fuel, oil or number 7 jet fuel. That's what we were burning so that we were not drawing on the gas system, because it all works on pressure. How do we get this gas? Unfortunately, we made some choices in Iceland, New England. Some of them for the betterment of the planet, but we don't have enough gas in the area. So we backfill our system with LNG, and that happens in February, January, February. All of that being said, it's a global marketplace, and that's why we got hit with those 33-cent rates when Ukraine got in the war, because now Russia turned off Europe. So everyone wanted LNG, and that was the main driver for our prices to go through the roof. Yes, sir.
So if it's a New England ISO grid, community choice draws from that, or national grid draws from that, is it just less overhead with community rather than grid?
This is a great question. So there's no magic in what we're doing. So all we've done, this is not a physical transaction. We're not, if this program went defunct tomorrow, the power would not go out at your house. Everyone would automatically be switched back to basic service. What we're actually doing is trading electricity futures in the Iceland, New England marketplace. So the town has gone out and contracted with Dynegy for 30 months. So what they did was they bought a futures hedge. Dynegy did so. And now that's the contract, that's the financial contract that the town has to pay if you wish. But this doesn't have to do with the actual electron running through your wire. The way electricity works is I don't have any way to say, if I'm part of a community solar or I wanted to get some wind power, there's no way to send that through the wire and say, hey, I'm in Amesbury and I'm a solar array that you're getting the net metering from. I can't get that electron to your house. So it's, as I mentioned, system mix. We all get the same mix. And if you're willing to buy reps like the town was, you get the benefit of renewable products. Other than that.
No, it sounds like a great program.
Oh, great.
And I just want to be sure.
Absolutely.
That, I mean, I'm passionate on solar.
Yes,
And if my choices are not limited because of that, it's still the same program. Whether I get most of mine from them or from some from my own.
that is a correct statement.
Got nothing to-
It that program will work identical to the way it is, because you have a contract with National Grid. It will continue to work until the 20 years is up.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. More questions? Yes, ma'am.
After 30 months, because we all know that will,
Great. That's,
we're back to, are they going to try to, they could disband, they could do anything, right?
no, actually, they could. I've got to explain it. This is the great question. She wants to know what happens after the 30 months. And I probably should have explained that, just so you don't think the power's going out in 30 months. Agreed. So some point over the next 30 months, I'm going to be approaching the town. We're in the marketplace every day. I'm gonna make us sound good here. I'm going to say to you, we found a power out, you're out 30 months, and 20, so 2028, 2029, we found 10-cent power for the next 36 months. I'm going to mention it to the town. I'm gonna bring them all the pricing. If they like the pricing and they wish to transact, they'll sign a contract. It's not necessarily going to be with Dynegy. I'm gonna make up the scenario. It's Constellation for 36 months. What happens to you? Seamless to you. The winning supplier takes all of the people enrolled in the program, they enroll them in their program, it automatically gets a drop. The Dynegy, you don't need to do anything, and you'll be participating for the next 36 months with the Constellation. How will you know this is happening? Two ways. We're gonna send you a postcard that's gonna look eerily similar to this, with the town's rate and term, who the suppliers and all of that. You're gonna get this in the mail. Also, on your National Grid bill, the way you're gonna always know that you're in the program, regardless of supplier, it's going to say West Newbury Ag. So it's gonna say Dynegy, West Newbury Ag, as long as you see that AGG, you know that you're in the town program. So I'm just gonna play through the scenario for 30 months. You see Dynegy Ag. The following month after you use the power, you're gonna see Constellation Ag. That's what you'll see. Yes, sir.
What is the actual process if you're not a National Grid process, customer to opt in?
Okay, so after you've called, I want you to make sure you flip over your bill and you look, call the 1-800 number, make sure there's not a fee or penalty to leave your program. After you have left your after you've talked to them and you've made a decision, hey, I'd like to go to the town program. All you need to do is go to our website, that's colonialpowergroup.com /West Newbury, or call us at 866-485-5858 extension 1. It's right there on the handout. And just have your National Grid bill handy and they'll enroll you in the program. That's simple. Again, I want to make sure that everyone understands. Nobody from the town is trying to hold anyone in the program or not allowing them to get in. It's truly about choice and lots of them. And I know how many choices in our lifetimes have we had for electricity? Really none. So this is brand new and it's different. But I do want you to know it's about protection on the high side. You don't have to pay more than 13.1, which is a great thing in the savings now. And then you get some choices if you so desire, with the town's products. Yes, ma'am.
We are
100%. So I'll stop. So Salisbury, Amesbury, Methuen, Haverhill, Newbury. Newbury is just starting, literally like parallel with you. Trying to think that, I don't know if you consider Lowell close enough, and North Andover.
And Mark, it's well over 100 communities, like 160 or so.
More, it's like 215 right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's exploded as the 33 cents sent everyone through the roof.
Got it.
Yeah, just a way to protect customers, into the future, that's all. But not everyone's up on supply, but about 215 communities have applied. 4 questions.
Why can't National Grid offer the same program?
But a great question. The question, I just want to repeat it, and that's a great question. Why can't National Grid offer the same program? Because National Grid, by law, cannot do such things. They're not allowed to go long in the marketplace to protect. The Department of Public Utilities tells them when to go out and what to buy. This is gonna sound terrible and probably gonna not make people happy, but when rates went to 33 cents a kilowatt hour, National Grid's, their directive was you buy 50% of your needs and you buy them for 12 months. When rates went to 33 cents, they bought 50% of their needs for 12 months. When rates were 9 cents, they bought 50% of their needs for 12 months. I'm telling you, we went on 36 months, we're at 9 cents winner. I'm certain National Grid would have wanted to have done that. By law, they're not allowed to do that. So that's why we have 210 trading days, they have 2. And those days are restricted. They simply, on those days, and it's coming on June, I think it's 11th, they're gonna go out and buy 50% of their needs regardless of price. And they're gonna buy whatever they need, 50%, they're gonna buy for 12 months.
These are regulations that are stated.
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Start, when will you see this?
This starts with your April meter. So I just want to make sure everyone's clear. You will see a notation on your bill up the top that you're being switched to the town's aggregation and Dynegy. You won't see it on the supply portion of your bill until April. We use electricity and then we pay for it. So it's not until a month after the program starts that you actually see that Dynegy on the bottom where basic service would be. It's the following month that you see that. But there is supposed to be a notation where it says go paperless or having trouble with your bill, those kind of things. There's a notation there that says you're being switched from your current supplier, basic service. More questions?
Dynegy,
Yes,
are they a publicly traded company?
they are. They're wholly owned by a giant,
Who is that?
Vistra Energy. Probably that Vistra and Constellation are the 2 biggest retail suppliers across the country.
What exchange did they begin?
Vistra?
No, well, yes.
Yes. Vistra, more likely than not, you're gonna find them on the NASDAQ. No, you know, to be honest with you, I haven't looked them up lately. I bet you just given their size, you can go as far as the marketplace. If you just wanted to go to the New York Stock Exchange, they're that big. They're a Fortune 100 company. You're welcome. More questions?
Is there anybody who didn't receive a letter or a postcard and doesn't think they accidentally threw it out, not knowing what it was? No? Fantastic, okay, so it was just, you wanted to mention, you might have called the utility for that reason, but that's great news.
As long as everyone's got some mailing, we're good in this room. If, I know it's being taped, if by chance you didn't receive either mailing, that probably means that you have a block on your account. So a few years back, remember the phone rang endlessly at dinner time and you got 19 pieces of mail asking you to join. If you called National Grid and complained in any way, many times they automatically put you on a blocked list. So nobody can do that. That includes the town's aggregation, unfortunately. So we're not allowed to market to you. If you wish to join, you need to call National Grid. That's only if you didn't receive either one of these. You need to call National Grid, ask to remove the block, and then you can opt in. But I don't believe this affects anyone here. More questions? At this time, I want to apologize for interrupting your lunch, but I can't thank you enough. That's all I have for you today. Thank you. Enjoy your day.
Solar, and you know, that was like.